Now, say my name.
The Rolling Bad Podcast.
You're goddamn right.
Coming to you mostly live and at least a week late from our very isolated and 6-foot minimum distance desert studio in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. It's the Rolling Bad Podcast, episode number 88. It's April 19th, and I'm your host, Elric. My social distance is 7 feet. And with me today is
Bill Shed of Nightmares Costello. You were just out there. You know it's a nightmare.
Yeah, that is it's something else.
It's departed shame and going straight to nightmare.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hey.
Well, first of all, right off the top, before we dig into anything, that's right, Bill, I'm going to do it this time.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to hijack the show.
Jesus.
I'm going to pull out well, I won't pull that out. Happy birthday.
Aw.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Today is Bill's 111th birthday, or however.
111.
Yeah.
And I don't know half of you as well. Okay, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It is interesting to have a birthday in the middle of isolation because, normally I would go out and celebrate and drink like a fish or something crazy. And
Sure.
yeah, instead, we'll podcast. What the hell?
Yeah.
We had a good dinner. We had cake and ice cream.
Way too much cake and ice cream.
We had a quarter of a cake each. That was pretty sick.
Pretty sure my brain is encrusted in a layer of sugar. I can feel it.
But it's a good thing.
We've recorded this show while we've been strung out on sugar.
Yeah.
We've recorded this show when we've been absolutely sleep deprived.
Oh, yeah. Done that.
I think. And here and there we've actually recorded the show when we're in prepared and all that stuff.
Whoa.
Once upon a time.
Okay.
We've done that.
There might be like episode 30 or something, sure.
Yeah. I feel like one of these days we've got to do one drunk.
Oh, I am. I even told Luke and Aaron and all those guys that I was going to drink wine during the show tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And get kind of sauced. But it is, like you said, it's a school night when we've got to get through this.
Yeah.
So that would probably not be the best night. But yeah, we should.
We'll do it on a Saturday.
Yeah. So we can recover.
We'll get proper sloshed.
That's right. We can fold out the bed or the couch and
there you go.
Yeah, I like it.
Good times.
Oh yeah.
All right, we have a show.
Yes, we do.
So let's sink our teeth into it.
Okay, so part of the intro I want to talk about real quick the White Dwarf, the next White Dwarf episode has been pushed to May 2nd. That's the date that if the stores are open, who knows, every day is changing. That'll be when they're available in store or it'll be available digitally that day too. So May 2nd, mark your calendars.
Cool.
And I also want to send a shout out to the guys over there, Wayne and Dan Heelan, Wayne Kemp. They did a pretty interesting thing this morning. This would have been the weekend of the South Coast GT over there in the South Coast of England. And obviously that had to be canceled. But they did a really interesting thing this morning where a whole long series of tweets about what would have happened if everybody showed up. And so they kind of went through the rounds and did a mock play-by-play, game-by-game sort of thing and poked a lot of fun at some very big names in the hobby over there in England and had a great time with it. And they did. Finally, they got to the award ceremony, and I think it was Dan, not sure, but he was posting old pictures from South Coast GTs in the past and showing people getting awards and different people winning different things. And it was really kind of it was a funny, interesting way of making a little bit something funny out of something that was really, really sad that South Coast had to be canceled. So,
yeah,
big shout out to those guys for doing something cool like that. I love the comment about Jack Armstrong. He was coming in hot. He was doing really, really well. Looked like he was going to take it all, but they caught him cheating at the end of round 4. I mean, they were just poking fun at guys for fun. Yeah. Obviously, nothing. They weren't being snarky. They were just having a good time with everything. And so it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to be reading those tweets. What we do, however, have is we haven't actually sat down at the microphones since preview number 1.
Yeah.
So we have to cover preview 2 and preview 3, which happened yesterday. And, there was some, I hate to say it, but it's all teasers.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder how they're going to, what's the schedule going to be like when they finally get back to a semblance of normal and they can start releasing product and producing? What is
get dumped on?
Well, I mean, are they going to try to keep this year's production normal and just try to shove everything out there in the last, maybe 6 months of the year? Or are they just going to let it flow as if, we'll pick up on May 15th where we would have been in February and just slide everything to the right? Otherwise, people aren't going to have the pocketbooks to buy all this stuff when it drops in June or, I don't know what date. But if they drop everything all at the same time, a lot of stuff is going to get glossed over.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, it's kind of already in danger, I think, of that a little bit.
Yeah.
You've had 2 major armies announced for Age of Sigmar.
Mm-hmm.
You've had 2 books for the Psychic Awakening announced.
Yeah.
For 40K and just a lot of stuff. I mean, we'll go over quite a bit of it, but I don't know. I think the question, though, is how many people were going to buy up all that stuff anyways?
Well, I would have to imagine. I don't know if any of this stuff would have been an instant sellout.
Yeah.
But honestly, a lot of the, I certainly want to do the Gargants. There's a lot of models, a lot of books that have been announced that I'm certainly going to pick up the minute they're available.
Yeah.
But if they're all available on the same weekend, I'm not going to do that. I can't justify dropping $1,000 on, new books, new this, new that, new Gargants, new here, there, the other thing. So I don't know what they're going to do. I hope they phase it. I hope they just slide everything to the right and let the chips fall where they may. But, I mean, they have production schedules that they want to meet.
Yeah. You also have to wonder how much of it's going to be impacted by how many people will no longer have disposable income.
That's right.
Possibly for the rest of the year
while things get back to,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean.
Interesting to see how GW's end of the year stock or whatever, how they've been doubling.
Yeah.
Every year, and now this thing rolls around.
Well, this year they're going to fall in half, I would imagine. The thing is if you take it by itself, it's going to look really, really poor when you do it in comparison to everything else that's in the hobby area. These are not things people have to survive. This isn't food.
Right.
So.
Well, I know what you're talking about, Bill. The S&P is the best it's ever been, and stock market's through the roof, and anyways.
I'm seeing orange. I've had too much sugar.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's almost like, no, never mind.
Okay. Yeah. Wrong podcast. Yeah. Wrong podcast. All right. So preview 2 happened, 3 weeks ago because they skipped a weekend?
Yeah.
They skipped the Easter weekend without ever saying we're skipping Easter weekend. So it was interesting, I thought.
Yeah.
So, first thing that came out of the box was, did you see what I did there? See what I did? Yeah. Okay. So it's the Lumineth box.
Yes. God.
An interesting box set of Lumineth stuff that doesn't include the Battle Cattle.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Again, I'm not plussed by it.
The more I see for this army, the less I'm interested in.
Yeah, I hear you.
I just don't. None of this stuff is doing anything for me anymore.
Yep, I hear you. I hear you.
But it will be a cool box. It's got a unit of spearmen, a unit of the cavalry, Altharian, sorry.
Altharian,
And then, was it one other character? There was something else in there, I thought.
I think there was another character.
Yeah. Oh, the meditating rock
right,
wizard thing. I forget what he's called.
Mm-hmm.
And then it will also come with an army book and a set of dice.
Yes.
Which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it's a nice presentation box like the Sisters Battle box was. So, you know.
And to be honest, it's all the stuff that I actually do like about the army.
Yeah.
That's about where it stopped.
Okay.
Was with that stuff. Anything that came out in previews after that.
You haven't really been down with.
No, those croquet hammer dudes
Yeah.
are probably one of the worst looking units I've ever seen.
Wow.
And the cow is just bizarre.
Very.
And then we got a model reveal for preview 3, but we'll talk about that
we'll
when we get
talk
there.
about that in a little bit. All right, so in the last preview, the next thing up was Blood Bowl Treeman models. So, hobbits and elves, rejoice. You get some dudes that can actually make a line for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're kind of Sylvaneth-y. What do you think?
Good Lord, I don't even remember what they look like.
No, look like trees.
Okay.
In the shape of men, kind of.
The only ones I can remember are the snotlings.
Oh,
that
yeah.
they showed yesterday, which we'll talk about. So, yeah, I unfortunately don't remember the Treeman models.
Yep. They're very cool looking.
I'm sure they are. All the stuff, like, I don't enjoy Blood Bowl, but, man, all the new models they've been making for that game.
Just, yeah, they're great.
Sorry. Sugar is dissolving my insides. Falling apart over here. Good God.
I love it.
I feel like I'm in the inside of Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Augustus Gloop.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, everything, like literally everything for Blood Bowl looks gorgeous. So.
It is really well realized.
Yeah, it reminds me of Underworlds.
Yeah.
You know, it's not really a game I'm interested in playing, but man, every time they release something new for it, it's just like, that is gorgeous.
Yeah. And as harbingers of things to come, it's just so inviting.
Yeah.
All right, so next up was a 30K model for the Arc Malefactors, Word Bearer. Well, basically anybody can use them as Praetors, but they are basically specific for Word Bearers. Word Bearers. I wanted to say World Eaters, but they're not.
New.
They're Word Bearers. Yeah, just another 30K release. Then in a really great Middle-earth strategy battle game release, they announced the book, which is Quest for the Ring Bearer, which we were talking earlier as we consumed food and sugar. This might very well be our jumping off point for Middle-earth strategy battle game.
Yeah.
Because this is the Quest for the Ring Bearer of the Ring Bearer is a bunch of narrative scenarios that are going to basically track Frodo from the edge of the Shire all the way to Mordor. So that's something that we can probably look at and start building to, and maybe hopefully get some experience with that system.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I'm very ready for it.
Yep. And they also announced the Anborn and Mablung models. So two of the Rangers, very cool looking, very great looking models. Awesome. And then they did the AOD trailer, the Angels of Darkness.
Those Angels of Death.
And yeah, that's what I said, Angels of Death.
Yeah.
You just heard me wrong.
You didn't let me finish.
Yeah. And wow, was that a trailer? I mean, oh God.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely in for a treat with this, with these TV shows and shorts and all this different stuff they're doing with their IP.
Yeah.
In the visual medium. It's going to be good stuff.
It's crazy. I'm almost wondering if this could actually become mainstream.
I don't see why
If
not.
something could actually hit with the public.
Yeah.
And actually spur it on to even bigger. Because, oh boy, that would be just crazy. If they got popular acceptance across a wide audience.
Yeah, this is actually a subject I'd like to talk about in a future episode.
Okay.
So,
sure.
Because I remember having this internal dialogue with myself about, it sounds great, but could it be bad?
Yes.
Could the media get a hold of something like that? All it would take is some kid to shoot up his school.
Yeah.
And then he's wearing an Imperial Aquila.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what's this?
Yeah.
We don't know anything about this, but we're going to run with the story.
You betcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of worry about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's a whole future
that's
discussion.
a neat, interesting. Yep, that's a great topic. And at that time, this kind of rolls into something that was deployed yesterday, but they announced the battle tome for the Sons of Behemoth, which we're not going to even talk about in this preview because it's going to come up in the next one in a bigger way. So they then went to 40K and announced the Psychic Awakening Pariah book, which had me and a whole bunch of other Necron people all a Twitter because Pariahs were a unit that used to exist in the Necron range and then got dropped. And we were all excited maybe that was coming back, but it turns out that's not what it was. But what it was awesome because it's Ephrael Stern, the Sister of Battle, who there's a whole big backstory, but she's basically the Demonofuge. And she's, basically a great, big, powerful psychic null with powers that just make you go, oh my God.
Nice.
And everybody wants her. The Eldari want her. The Dark Elves want her.
Wow.
The Deldar want her.
The Deldar.
Yeah. I mean, everybody wants her. The Inquisition wants her. And you can tell she's kind of powerful because every major thing in the universe is after her.
Yeah.
And nobody's gotten her. So she runs around with a ex-Harlequin Eldar who actually has a vested interest in seeing her survive to fulfill her destiny. And the story is just fantastic. And luckily, they are going to re-release the graphic novels in a big collected format and a book format for the Demonofuge, so people can actually, if you weren't around when the story was out, you can catch up. And it's an amazing story. The art was stupendous, and wow.
I gotta say, hopefully, if this is successful, I don't see why it wouldn't be. They'll go back and re-release a lot of those old graphic novels that they did in the early 2000s that were so difficult to get a hold of because they didn't really do them in bookstores,
right?
But you couldn't really get them in game stores.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they were to get a hold of.
Yep.
So
yes,
hopefully this will green light bringing a bunch of that stuff back because there's like some really cool Black Templar stories that they did like that and all kinds of stuff. So
and they've tested the water with some of the Inferno reprints and some of the Cal Jericho stuff that's come back out. So I mean, I think the market's ready. That was pretty much the end of the
Preview 2.
Preview 2, although at the very end they did say that, I don't know if it's for every $50 you spend, you get $5. So if you buy a gift certificate or a voucher.
It was for every $100.
Oh, 100?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was 50 and 5.
No.
So 110. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you spent $400, you got an extra 40 on top of it.
So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously you can't buy anything on the website. You might want to spend it, once a week and put it in there and on credit so that when all this stuff does come out, you can pick and choose what you want. Just a thought. I'm sure that's what they thought.
Yeah.
So, but that was pretty much the end of Preview 2. Very, very interesting stuff. They did the actual preview in a different manner, like on the Twitch channel. They limited it to, thank God, subscribers only. So I don't get to rant about 40 freaking orc heads or something.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because I was going to rant that again. But then 3 weeks went by or 2 weeks went by.
Yesterday, Preview 3 went up. This would round out everything that all of this would have been announced apparently at Adepticon.
Yeah, at Adepticon. So.
Yeah. That would have been bonkers.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it would have been. All this stuff would have been bunkers.
It would have been the biggest reveal
ever. Yeah, they had that one right. But I think this reveal is the best of the three.
Yeah, they saved the best for last.
Well, they also said there's going to be another one, so.
Yeah, that won't be for a few weeks. And like May 15th or 5th or something
like that.
Something like that.
Which is fine. I mean, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
We don't need to be getting word of all this stuff that we can't get our hands on to save our lives.
They can only get so blue.
Yeah, exactly.
Gargants.
What? Oh.
God bless.
Yes. Okay.
So, models for the Battletone Sons of Bahamut were revealed.
Yes.
Or, well, the model, I guess.
The kit.
Yeah, the kit.
That builds, like...
Three different
base types of giants with enough options to make them all. Yeah. You know, I guess Eddie was saying you could build the same giant, but have so many optional different parts and ways of putting it together that you'd never know it was the same giant type.
Yeah, 2 gate breakers, but they don't look alike.
Yeah. So I am, like I said when you got here, take my money now. So.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. Still.
Why? It's destruction.
Yeah.
Embrace your inner.
They definitely don't go full hillbilly mode, which is nice.
No.
They're very nice, richly detailed,
beautiful models. Yeah.
I think what bugs me, and I guess they had to do it or whatever, but the old giant is a part of the army.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to.
It's like, I'm so tired of them doing half of a line of these new, phenomenal, amazing models, and then still having to shoehorn these old things in there that just don't visually fit. It was like that with Iron Jaws. You have Brutes and the Gore-Gruntas, the Maw Crusher, the Foot Boss, and then you use the old Black Orcs.
Right.
And like visually, they really just don't quite fit.
Yeah, I can see your point, but also the fact that you can't just tell everybody that's got a giant model to throw it away. This is the new.
Sure you can. No. They did it to Necron players. They did it to Dark Eldar players.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could still play with the old models.
You could. You could be that guy. Yeah. For sure. Nobody's stopping you from being that guy.
Yep.
I don't know.
I can see them not having, not trying to cut out. I mean, that would be annoying.
They axed out a ton of stuff with Cities of Sigmar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just...
the fact that we even got a Cities of Sigmar that uses all those old models, to me, is surprising. Because, yes, you can get those models, but they're not easy. They're not fun. They're not current. So, I mean, look at what you're going through with the great swords. So, they're not awesome.
That's true.
So,
well then, get rid of the giant.
No.
The old Gargant model.
Don't do it. I don't even have one, and I'm saying don't do it. I want one.
I have one.
I want one to have street cred.
Oh, no.
And to say I was around when giants were like this kit. But, I'll never be able to do that because everybody knows I started with AOS. So.
It's all right, Bill.
But, yeah, I mean, I wrote a lot of things on the sheet about Gargants, and I am 100% down with this army. Not only are they making it to where the giants can be allied into any army in AOS, so everyone can use these as an ally, but they're also going to be an incredibly fun, cool-looking army by itself, and I honestly cannot wait to have my Gargant of some unknown type yet, because I don't know how cool they are. Yeah. Along with my 2 Frost Lords, and then some Ogres, and my Butcher, and just have a destruction party.
I'm going to hold Final Judgment until we get book in hand.
Okay.
Whenever that is.
That's fair enough. I agree. I can
see if we get any other models for the army or whatever. We'll see. I'd imagine there's got to be like a character.
Yeah.
So there's magic. We'll see.
Spellcasting Gargant?
That'd be
boy.
pretty sweet. They are huge.
They are huge. I mean, they are as big as an Imperial Knight in 40K.
Yep.
So
big knights.
They are just a tad bit shorter than Archeon on top of that big 3-headed horse thing.
Dragoth,
Durgar, whatever.
Forget.
Yeah, I can't. Wow. sugar.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It is. It's terrible. Good Lord, I should know that. So, yeah, like I wrote down, you get a Gargant, and you get a Gargant, and you get a Gargant. So, yeah, anybody, if you have an army, you can run a Gargant. So then they moved on to Blackstone Fortress. Ascension. Because, killing Obsidious Malix is so easy that they had to do something to toughen up the storyline. Yeah. And I think my comment there was, more stuff to ruin your game.
Yeah. He's pretty terrifying. So to see...
By himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to find out that you really didn't kill him, that hurts. That
Pretty
hurts
rough.
the little soul place.
Those super spindle drones look
Oh, my God.
so cool.
Yeah, they do.
Some very War of the Worlds looking stuff there.
The aesthetic, that just popped right out at me, was those look just like War of the Worlds, but different.
And then probably what I thought was the coolest.
Yes.
I mean, it's hard to get past the Gargants, but these Knight Shadow Stalkers for Warcry.
Oh, my
good Lord.
Golly, Miss Molly.
Yeah, so they showed 3 of them, and apparently this is 3 out of like 10 or 20 or something.
Yeah, something
There's
like
going
that.
to be a bunch more just for this warband.
Yeah.
They are part of the Daughters of Cain, but they hail from Olgu. So this is our first real shot
Looking
at
in.
something from Olgu.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, like, it looks like they're pulling their weapons out of Shadow itself.
And the cloaks and the... Oh, my gosh. Yeah, like I wrote on the sheet, take my money now.
Yeah, there's an aesthetic that's rising now with that kind of look, right? So the weapon coming out of his shadow, when we get down to the Psychic Awakening Necron guy, there's an effect that is like, I don't know how to explain it. It's an action sequence trapped in a model.
Right. Yeah,
Which
it's
is-
one frame of a movie.
Yeah,
You
which
know.
is really interesting to see now.
Yeah.
That technologically they're at a point where I'm trying to think of some stuff previously that's come out that is like that. Nothing's quite coming to mind, but it's definitely
Yeah, it's...
something new that's happening, and it looks
And
phenomenal.
I like it. Yeah, that whole K-Knight thing they're doing so far is gorgeous. It's just gorgeous.
Yep.
So then for AOS and the Lumineth Realm Lords, they showed off some woman doing something.
Oh, yeah, I don't even remember what her name is.
I don't either. It's sad that the AOS thing doesn't even hit my memory banks.
That army is so visually loud. I don't understand it anymore.
You know, it's like what Chad said about the Osiark Bone Reapers, and we disagreed with him. But I think
over
there's
designed.
a big swell of widespread reaction like that to these.
And she's the worst offender.
They're just overdone.
Yeah.
So
She's
maybe,
holding a grail or a
yeah.
goblet or whatever it is. It's the size of her torso outstretched behind her, and it's filled with something giving off smoke. So that looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
She's got this horn belt that's like as long as she is tall with tassels, and then another ridiculous headpiece thing.
Yeah, it's not an aesthetic that jumps out and says...
But then she's barefoot on a sloped rock to show how graceful she is. But she's got all this blocky, obnoxious stuff on her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the headdress alone is just so... I mean, that would snap your head back. I don't...
Yeah, the Lumineth neck game is strong.
Very.
I don't know what they're doing.
The gym days are all like, you know, the lats and the upper, way upper stuff.
Yeah, they do leg day, chest day, back day, neck day.
Neck day, yeah. It's weird. Yeah, that goblet she's carrying is like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Yeah,
Whatever.
Again,
Moving
not
on.
not down with it.
Nope.
So for Blood Bowl,
Yeah, these guys.
so finally the Havlings have someone they can win a game against. Because the Snotlings have arrived.
Yeah, man.
Talk about
couldn't get over this.
cool looking.
The paint job on them is perfect. The models are all so characterful. This might be one of my favorite Blood Bowl teams.
Yes. And I cannot wait to see what Louise Sugden does
good
with
Lord,
these.
yeah.
Because her whole thing is, you know, all the different small. And when she gets a hold of these, it's going to be silly.
they'll be super bright, I'm sure. of that.
Oh, yeah. There will be a bright team. So,
Another win for Blood Bowl.
yep, big time. And they can take treatment. I don't know. I think they probably can.
I have no idea.
So, and then in the reveal that made my heart jump out of my chest,
Yeah, you're probably not
and
the
I
only
had
one.
to stuff it back physically. Saul freaking Tarvitz finally
For 30K.
for 30K. Sign me up, take my money. One of my favorite characters of the books.
How wild is that the Horus Heresy game has been a thing for over 10 years now, and yet still haven't seen all the Primarchs.
Yeah.
Sal Tarvitz, one of the most iconic characters next
Yep.
to Garviel Loken.
Yeah.
And who's the Death Guard guy?
Garrow?
Garrow.
Daniel Garrow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And now he's just now getting over a decade after the game has started. That just seems so strange to me that they're still so slowly rolling out
Yeah.
things that were
These
essentially
iconic
years
characters.
before the assault on Terra and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So it's kind of like, well, when are you going to start adding demonic stuff like that? You
Yep.
know, are you going to redo these Primarchs as
Yep.
demon princes? Because that's what they were
Mm-hmm.
by the time they met the walls of Terra.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just interesting that, I mean, it's very cool. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And his head
Oh.
is, yeah, man.
The sculpting
Phenomenal.
on that model is just
Yeah, Forge World stepped up their game.
yeah, just a lot.
That's a Forge World model.
Yes, and that is when you look at someone that can do faces really well, what they're going. I mean, just looking at the model that that Heavy Metal did
Yeah.
is amazing, and yeah, I want to see when Vince gets a hold of this, or some one of those other guys that's
Right.
really over the top with their ability on that stuff. Moving on, where they had dashed my hopes the 2 weeks before, they rekindled my hopes because they announced that for Psychic Awakening Pariah, one of the models is a Luminor Xeras.
Yeah.
Necrons!
Finally.
Yeah. Finally a little love for the Necrons. Maybe they'll go from a D- to a D+. Finally in the game.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, I'm just so.
Yeah.
And when I say D-, I don't mean it. They're completely playable. I mean, really, honestly, with the chapter approved changes and all that stuff, they're a fightable army. So they're just not. You're not going to see them on the top tables.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they're not iron
Yeah,
hands.
Iron Hands. So yeah, but hopefully they're going to get some love in this book. And if we're getting a plastic Luminor Xeras, I'm all down with it.
Yeah, so this is the model that I was kind of referencing when I was talking about
Oh yeah,
the Shadow Stalkers.
mm-hmm.
He's literally pulling the flesh
Yeah,
off of a living human.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's so awesome.
that is just phenomenal work.
It really is.
sculpting-wise.
And the idea that because of the way the stories tie together, maybe this becomes the ability now to have the what's his name, flesh, the ones who wear the flesh. Yeah,
Flayed ones?
Flayed ones. Thank you. Wow, sugar. Maybe they'll get a little bit of love in this edition. Maybe
Yeah, we'll
in
see.
this Psychic Awakening. So yeah.
And then there was also the Lord Inquisitor,
Oh God.
Kyria Draxus.
It just happens to be carrying a dragon on his freaking back.
Her back.
Her back. Oh, sorry. Yeah, her back.
As well as an Eldar Shuriken catapult, which
Yeah.
I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And it talks about how she's a radical.
Slightly.
And she will use the enemy's weapons against them, whatever
Well,
it takes to win.
Yeah, kinda. She's got some freaking alien dragon hanging over her
Yep.
back, and
Xenos.
she's wearing a shuriken catapult. So, yeah,
A lot of hope that this will give new rules to the Inquisition stuff, too.
I'm really hoping that this will make that Eisenhorn model I bought worth having. You know,
Yeah.
that is such a well executed model,
Mhm.
and if they give the Inquisition and Necrons the treatment that everybody else has been getting, then you know what? We're in for some really fun, balanced. One of the things I will say, and God bless you, GW, for it, is all the stuff that's come out in Psychic Awakening has really helped where it's been needed. I mean, in a couple of places, like Gene Steeler calls it, slapped him in the face and said, shut up. It's really helped the factions become a lot more fun to play, not maybe altering the meta to the point to where, somebody jumps from the bottom to the top, but they become a lot of fun to have on the table. So, I mean, they've been really knocking these books out of the park, and as long as that continues, it's a good thing, with the exception of the Space Marine stuff. Well, I mean, honestly, they went a little over the top, but they pulled it back in. I mean, it didn't take long to figure out that, whoops, this is bad. Let's pull it back.
Yeah, well, and the missed opportunity to have a Primaris Emperor's Champion, but
anyways, maybe one day.
Next is the Hammer and Bolter preview episode 2.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, just wow. It's a whole different aesthetic from Angels of Darkness or Death or whatever it was.
Angels of Death.
Angels of the D word. Yeah.
Angels of the D. Oh, boy.
A to the D, baby. Yeah. All right. Anyway. Yeah. Totally different aesthetic, but it's so much fun to see how they're embracing all these different styles. And obviously one of them's going to hit, probably. And then they know where to put their money behind. So I still say they should do another full-scale production of the Ultramarines movie. But hey, I guess I'm in the minority.
Yeah. Go full Disney and do a live remake of it.
Oh, God. Or a musical.
Oh,
Ultramarines.
A
the
40K musical starring the Ultramarines.
Oh, my God.
That
Can you imagine?
Writes itself.
It really does. It really does.
Mm.
You could have Gulliman come in with the chorus. Oh, God, that would be...
Yeah, I definitely see him as an alto.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's the sugar-talking people.
Yep.
Leave us alone.
Yep.
Then, in what could only be considered, oh my God, where did this come from? You can tell one of the sculptors just had some time. And just went, because they basically made Sister Tarian Palos, which is the sister battle from the very iconic artwork that shows the Sister of Battle with that pose, with the gun forward. And it's just such an iconic piece of art for Sisters of Battle. And then to have them turn it into a model for no other reason than it's an iconic piece of artwork. Why not? Let's have a model for it.
Yep.
Oh, my God, is it gorgeous. And they also did... Yeah, I'm sorry. Did you want to...
Oh, well, they did the Lexiconum Varos, which is a Terminator librarian.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, he's a great-looking model.
It's a phenomenal sculpt, yes.
If you want the older Marines, which I'm not keen on anymore. But both of them are made to order for the next 2 weeks, so when this show drops, you'll still have another week to get a hold of them.
Roger that. So, just gorgeous models.
Mm-hmm.
That, as they said, was that. That was the end of Preview 3. Now, I happen to believe that this last preview was the biggest and the best.
Yeah. I mean, we finally got to see the Gargants themselves, which is...
Yeah, that was a big...
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then to see the future for Warcry.
Mm-hmm. Which, the future's so bright you got to wear shades.
Yeah.
So...
more content coming for Middle-earth.
Everything.
Yeah, just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good time to be a GW fanboy. So
it really is. It's absolutely nuts. One thing that did surprise me was not a hint of the new 40K.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah. And I wonder if that's going to be pushed to past Christmas or Christmas time rather than the June, the midsummer splash.
Yeah, I think announcing a new edition now when people are really struggling to even get games in now would be a bad idea.
Horrible, yeah.
So,
starting that hype train and then not being able to pay off.
Yeah.
It would be, yeah. So I wonder if that's going to get slid, maybe even an entire production year. Maybe that becomes the May thing for next year or the Adepticon, I don't know. I'm sure they have been having meetings about how to redo this production schedule.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
To be a fly on the wall for that
Oh,
stuff.
my God. What they're having to do now to reflow all this stuff, more power to those guys if they bring that off. I mean, it's happening in every sector of every business in the world. This is only one tiny portion of what's affecting the entire world, but this is the one that happens to affect us in our hobby. So it's the one we talk about. So
Indeed.
And all I can say is good luck, guys, and if I can help in any way, let me know. So
Yep. Tell us what to buy.
yeah, tell me what to buy. Take my money now.
Or if you want to send any advanced stuff to let people hype it up and talk about it.
We'll give you honest, fair reviews, and we'll squeal a lot.
Yeah, Games Workshop, you want to slide into my DMs, go for it.
You betcha. All right. Shall we move on to creation? Because we've done like 40 minutes on 2 previews.
Good Lord.
So, well, we do that. Well, it's only been like, once edited, it'll probably be about 20 minutes.
Creation.
We've
been creating.
You know what I created? I made a DM screen for D&D.
I saw that. It's phenomenal.
Thank you. My mad woodworking skills go into town.
Yeah.
So, skills that I don't have. I had to ask my wife a lot of stuff. So
that's fine.
She's the woodworker, though. Okay. So really, honestly, I have been working literally really long days.
Yeah.
And I haven't touched the hobby knife. So the only thing I was able to get done was put some magnets in my crisis suits and get everything magnetized, which is actually kind of nice because now they're completely, I can put any weapon on any arm.
Yeah.
So
Tau scream for magnets.
Yeah, they really do.
And cool options.
They're so easy to do.
Yeah.
So, and one thing I wanted to say in the old creation department was keep an eye on the GW community site. There have been some phenomenal articles that have been coming out. There was an article just the other day, how to paint all the different horses for Rohan.
Oh, wow.
And just nice little ways of doing all kinds of different colored horses so that not all your horses are just the same brown or something. You can really get, and not hard, not, this is how you do no. These are all simple, base code it this way. Here's how to get this effect. Here's how to get that effect. So, yeah, it's a really great article. Vince Ventrella did a big thing on his Cities of Sigmar army, which is, over the top. You're not going to do that in an evening. But, just to look at all the things that he did and what was the story behind it, really cool. I mean, but, yeah, just great hobby articles that are going up there. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely a source. So, if you're bored and they put out that Glimm's Forge solitaire system for AOS, how to do a solitaire game. So, yeah, keep an eye out on the site. It's really good. Now I'll turn the creation over to you because you have created some stuff.
Yeah, I've just been building orcs. Mm-hmm. So I built Storm Boys. I can't remember what I talked about on the last episode. So I'll just say I built a ton of orcs.
Okay.
Like it's a box of Storm Boys, a box of Flash Kits, a box of Ludas.
Burnas?
Well, yeah, 4 Ludas and a Burna because you can't make 5 of each.
No.
Which is a really frustrating thing about that box.
Yeah.
Built 20 boys, a Death Dread, a Pain Boy, 12 knobs, Bike Boss, I think. And I'm the Big Mech with shock attack gun.
Oh, yeah.
And then a regular mech boy.
That's a required take.
Yeah.
The shock attack gun.
And then I think maybe I ranted about the Weird Boy fine cast nonsense.
No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
Absolute trash.
No, that isn't true.
Absolute trash. That model is so frustrating. I still haven't finished it technically because it's going to involve some hot water and reshaping and
lovely.
It's just terrible. And then
that's a fail cast.
Yeah. Never again. I'll convert any other Weird Boys that I need to make.
Yeah.
And then I'm currently building 2 trucks.
Nice.
And I forgot how frustrating trucks are to put together because orcs are a really interesting army because as they stand, when you build them, you're exposed to like all these essentially different generations of models and instructions that GW did. So you go back to the old boys and stuff, and that's old school. That's like late 90s, mid 90s stuff.
One-page instructions
that
are all
it's real
great.
modular.
Yeah.
You know, you can put it together however you want. And then stuff like the trucks is when GW was so kind to redo a good deal of the Orc line. And they're real dense models as far as like what's on the sprue and options, and they're pretty involved. But the instructions are trash.
Yes.
There's no numbers on how to build stuff, and it's all two-dimensional. So it's a picture of like, it's like, here is the cab, we'll say, or here's the chassis. And it's all the parts spread out with arrows pointing to where it's supposed to go, but it's all two-dimensional.
Yeah.
So you can't tell if it's supposed to go in front or behind, or if it's supposed to be slanted or anything. It's very... They're very frustrating.
Yes.
The trucks want to break me.
Yeah.
I'll get them done this week, but
nice.
And then you build the new stuff. Like I built that new boss on a bike.
Yeah.
And it's just it's like seamless.
Yeah. Heaven.
It goes together perfectly. It looks phenomenal.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's just interesting. Like you get all of that. Really, the only thing you don't get is like the old Rogue Trader era plastic, that real weird, softer, lighter stuff. Metals are all gone, which is...
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. I'm very happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, it does mean that stuff like I said, the Weird Boy or the previous Gazgul, which unfortunately has been replaced, would have been fine cast.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
I cannot imagine what...
Oh, my God, how bad would that have been? Yeah.
You got one in that box out there.
I do.
In the shed. I do not pity you trying to put that bad boy together.
Probably don't.
So, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, the thing is, you have the new Gazgul, so you could put it together and just have him be a war boss in Mega Armor or whatever, or Nob, Lita.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
If any of the stuff isn't good on him, you just chop it off and replace it with something else.
That's true. Yeah.
You could work him up.
Orc him up.
Yeah, and then I just have an absolute mountain of other orc stuff that I have to put together.
And then you got more.
So that's good. More speed freaks.
Yep.
And I also primed some boys, and this week I'm hoping to throw some paint on them. I'm just going to use a contrast scheme and paint them up in the Goth scheme. So, because, Gaskell.
Yeah.
And I want to see if I can nail that, get it to a nice tabletop standard so that I can paint an absolute mountain of orcs,
of them,
in a reasonable time and have a painted army for once.
Yep.
So that's what I'm looking forward to.
I hear you.
I also tried to strip a whole bunch of Imperial Guardsmen that I have that I got in a trade a while ago, and they weren't painted, but they were primed, and they were primed pretty heavily with this gray primer. And you gave me a jug of Simple Green to soak them in.
Yeah.
Simple Green did absolutely nothing.
Oh, it was probably an enamel primer.
Yeah, something. I mean, if I scrape it with my nails, it'll come off. But I was using a toothbrush or whatever.
It's enamel, it's not going to come off with Simple Green.
Yeah, so I have to wait until people stop panic buying everything so that I can get some isopropyl alcohol. Because I've heard that will...
That usually cuts through just about anything.
Yeah, so... And if not, I've heard maybe brake cleaner or not brake fluid
cleaner.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'll try the alcohol. It's not a project that's pressing right now, so I can wait. But it's just kind of frustrating. I left them sitting in that Simple Green for 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, good Lord! Yeah, no, it's if it hasn't done it in a day or two, it's not doing it.
Yeah, 3 weeks. It was the last time we recorded was when I picked that jug up from you.
It ain't doing it. Yep, that ain't happening. So,
and
that's unfortunate.
That's been my hobby.
Yep. Well, I want to talk about a game played.
Okay, you do that.
I'll
take a nap.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's just, being shut in like this and all. Actually threw down a little bit of Warcry with the wife. So that was kind of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun. I was going to take pictures, But then I was kind of embarrassed because only the terrain was painted.
At this point, just putting anything out there.
Exactly. Right now, yeah. I mean, I had the 2 original warbands that I'd put together and primed, but the warband I wanted to play, Splintered Fang, was from a different box. So I just primed those and left them in the box. But I didn't want to play my Splintered Fang against her because, I've taken that through a bunch of different campaign stuff, and I was afraid that I was going to start doing stuff that I had gotten in the campaign with them, which I shouldn't do.
Oh, okay.
So I had to actually go back and think about, throw all that stuff away and just use the cards. Don't use the updated cards that I printed out. So, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So we just played the 2 original warbands, and it was a lot of fun. It was actually interesting. And, once again, that game goes back to, it's so simple. Even a woman can do it. No. Wow.
Bless.
All right. I should have said even my wife can do it. No. I mean, it was
totally redeemed yourself.
Yeah. It's all better now.
Yeah.
No, seriously, it was one of those deals where here's what all the symbols mean on the cards. Here's what you can do. Here's the card that shows the abilities based on the dice you roll. Let's just start playing. And as things come up, you ask questions.
Yeah.
And honestly, after about the first turn, there was no more questions. It was just, okay, let's play. Let's just do this. And it was a blast. It was fun. So, once again, Warcry kicks butt.
Yeah, definitely. And next time, put pictures up because, somebody has to balance out the ridiculousness that guys like Vince and all these other dudes are posting of these over-the-top armies. Yeah, we need to flatten the curve.
Yeah, we need to flatten
the hobby curve.
Flatten that hobby curve and actually bring it back to the rest of us. Less Vince, more Bill.
Yeah, there you go. Hashtag.
No, I would never say that because that man is a god.
Yeah,
and we should look toward that. So, all right, let's take a quick break, and then we're going to make a quick decision here.
Uh-oh. Okay, welcome to the Rolling Bad Podcast.
Oh, we did crazy stuff.
Yep.
So here's our new plan.
Yes.
It's getting late. It's a school night.
Yep.
And we both have
school's out.
Yeah. We have to be at school in the morning.
We are both essential.
Yes. We are essential. And so we have to work in the morning. And we're suffering from sugar, what. So we're going to release this episode in 2 parts, 88A and 88B. We're going to cut this one here. And on Saturday, we will record the lore section, which for this is going to be our sort of thoughts, and I don't want to say reviews because we're just going to talk about different channels that do battle reps.
Age of Sigmar battle reps.
AOS battle reps.
Not 40K ones.
Nope. And we're also, want to talk about the temporal distort stuff, the way back.
The White Dwarf review.
White Dwarfs and all that stuff. So rather than try to stuff it all in tonight and do a pretty poor job, we'll hold off and record another episode on Saturday. So you will be listening to 88A, and there will be an 88B coming.
Very shortly thereafter, hopefully.
A week.
Yeah.
So thank you all, and
stay safe out there, guys.
Yes.
Don't
distance yourself socially.
Yeah. I know it's getting rough. People are getting stir crazy, but
we should all follow Ford's example and have chips implanted in our bodies that tell us when we're within 6 foot of another people.
I like it.
I do too.
Seriously, keep that hobby up.
Yeah.
There's some phenomenal hobby
God.
coming out. I like how I've seen people putting up stuff like, just finished my 1,000-point Adepticon army.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's good.
I don't want to say it too loud, but
yeah,
you missed it.
You missed it. Just a bit outside. Yeah. My 1,000-point team tournament army's ready to go.
Yep. I think it just goes back to why do we build and paint? To get ready for events.
Yep. Because there will be another Adepticon.
Yes, there will. Next year.
Can you imagine? I think next year's Adepticon is going to be the event to go to. because GW got shorted out of doing this massive reveal, and I cannot imagine how much work and prep went into doing this to have it slip through their fingers, right?
Yeah.
And they've done a fantastic job salvaging what they can and getting the hype train going.
Yeah.
Regardless of what people on the internet have been saying.
Yeah.
Those people were going to.
Ninth Ager's going to ninth age.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. And I think next year they're going to bring the heat to make up for it. I think Adepticon as a whole will probably bring the heat.
To me, I actually hope not.
Really?
I hope they keep it real and keep it, because if you do that, then what do you do next year? How do you top it?
That's for future to think about, Bill.
Sure.
Jesus.
Yeah. That's for future Rick.
Yeah. That's for future Ted and Marshall.
Yeah. I'm looking out there and I see my grave. I'm buried out back. Okay. Anyway, sorry, Rick and Morty reference.
Yeah. Well, How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah,
reference.
That's true.
I don't know, man. I think next year will be an Adepticon to remember.
I'm sure all the events that are getting turned off are going to come back. I hope bigger and better than ever before. South Coast will be back. All of these things will be back.
Midwest Meltdown.
Yeah, all of that stuff is going to happen. Hell, Randy Fest is going to happen. And it's just going to happen all that much harder,
Yeah, it is. It's going to be so hard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we should probably cut it there.
Sure.
So on those thoughts of RandyCon.
So good once it hits the lips.
Oh, yeah.
If you would like to get in touch with us, you can reach us at our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/rollingbadpodcast, all one word. Our Patreon page is at www.patreon.com/rollingbadpodcast, again, all one word. The Twitter account for the show is at @rolling_bad. And our individual Twitters are, for me, at Bill Castello, BILLCASTELLO. And for Elric, it's at Elric Edge, ELRICEDGE. All of our guests on the show will have their contact information in that show's show notes. The music in the show is used courtesy of Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com and used under the Creative Commons license. The Rolling Bad podcast is protected under the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License. Information for this license can be found at creativecommons.org.
Well, excuse me, princess.
She works your wood. You had to get her help to work your wood there, Bill. You don't know what to do with it anymore. She had to help you shape it.
And sand it.
Rub
it down.
Lacquer it up.
Put varnish on it.
God.
Wow, have we gone? Okay, let's keep this PG. Right. Okay, so my cyclonic ion blasters came in.
Yeah. Is that what you guys are calling them now? Oh, God.
I don't even know how I'm going to edit this. I really don't.
Leave it in, Bill.
Do I leave it in? Or
just like she said, leave it in.
Leave it in. I don't think we need to drink. We're fine.
Oh, yeah.